This time, on Future Weapons, it's all about guns. Big guns.
Talking about a nightmare for the guys on the inside of here.
Small guns.
Thank God this is a gelatin block and not a human being.
It's caveman simple, it's light, it's fast.
Even airborne guns.
Aggressiveness, intimidation, and domination all in one little package.
Not only are they lethal, but they're innovative and may cause you to rethink the concept of the gun. I'm Richard Makowitz. After a decade in SEAL Team, I'm running and gunning for Future Weapons.
Take him out. We gotta get to the car, stay on my back, and keep moving. Got it?
My client and I find ourselves in a dangerous, restricted environment. My job is to negotiate these conditions as quickly as possible. What's perfect for this kind of scenario is a weapon that's compact, lightweight, and can deliver impressive firepower. By the mid-1980s, military and police worldwide had identified a need for an accurate, compact, and lethal submachine gun. That was the birth of the personal defense weapon. PDWs like H&K's MP5 became the standard for close-quarter combat, but the battle space changed. Aggressors wearing body armor reduced the effectiveness of the 9mm pistol round it fired. That's why I'm at Cape Canaveral, Florida, the place where we reached for the moon, a place of innovation and cutting-edge technology. It's the perfect place to launch a new idea. One of the world's leading gun manufacturers, Knights Armament Company, has designed a personal defense weapon that's causing me to rethink the future of assault rifles.
This is the MP5. It is a great weapon, but it fires the 9mm pistol round. It's considered a submachine gun. The 9mm round doesn't travel very far, and it doesn't have a lot of punch. This is an assault rifle. It is the M4. It fires the 5.56. And I'll tell you what, it can reach out up to 300 meters easily. The problem is, as you can see, it's much longer. It's difficult to get in and out of vehicles with and to go through tight, confined places. What you need to do is combine them into one great weapon. Now, that category is called the personal defense weapon. That is the gray area, and this is the weapon of choice for that area. This is Knights Armament's personal defense weapon. Known as the PDW, there are two versions, one with a 10-inch barrel and the other with an 8-inch barrel. The smaller weapon weighs just 4 pounds, 5 ounces. Its length, with the buttstock folded, is only 17.5 inches. And thanks to a specifically designed 6mm round, it's deadly at a much longer range than the MP5. You wanted to have a round that could reach out to 300 meters.
Yes.
That you could deliver the ability to go through glass and take out body armor.
Right, and still have enough energy to do lethality.
Meet Reed Knight. He was born to make weapons.
Essentially, one of the things I noticed when I look at this, it looks a lot like an M4.
Yes, the feel was made to be like an M4 because most of the users that have been using this can transition very easily to this weapon. It had to be lighter, had to be 2/3 the weight, had to be less recoil, had to be less muzzle flash, and had to perform the same amount of performance that an M4 has. So how we did that was we made the same type of trigger mechanism, same type of pistol grip, but we just shrunk things down.
One of the coolest things about this weapon is the whole system was designed on a computer before a single part was ever fabricated. George Contis led the design team that developed the PDW.
We worked backwards into how large the projectile should be, how much muzzle velocity it needed to have, and from that, how much powder we needed to propel that round. Once we had the round, then we developed the weapon around that.
Turning the whole design process on its head led to other technical innovations as well.
This weapon feeds better than any small arm I've ever seen. The reason for that is we have a very short distance between the magazine and the breech. And in that short distance, we're able to pick up the round and bring it into the breech area, actually chamber the round, begin chambering the round before it ever leaves the magazine. And that's the secret to the high reliability of this weapon.
The PDW was designed to use a new 6mm round. Time to see exactly what this fusion of innovation can do. The target is ballistic gelatin, designed to simulate the density and viscosity of the human body. Here's the scenario. This is body armor. What we're going to do is we're going to fire the MP5 right into here. It's that 9mm round. Then I'm going to fire the PDW from Knight's Armament, and you're going to see exactly what that 6mm round can do. First up is the MP5, one of the most popular weapons on the planet for close-quarter combat. The gelatin visibly shakes from the impact of the bullet, but the high-speed camera shows the body armor did its job and stopped the round before it made contact with the gelatin. That's good news for the guy wearing the armor, not so good news for the guy who needs to take him down. Now it's the PDW's turn.
Everybody set? Good. That's what you like right there. Look at that. Right there, dead accurate. Right through. You can already feel. I can feel the gelatin right now. Just already pulped right here. Okay, so we've got the bullet hole. We know it's coming through. I'll show you right in a second what happened with the whole vest. But you can see, you can feel the gelatin all pulped out right there. That's something that you just don't want to have to see right there. Thank God this is a gelatin block and not a human being. Because that guy's in trouble. Look at that. You can see how that hydrostatic shock moved through this all the way to the ballistic gelatin, and there's your ball right there. Look how deep that penetration is. That's what you're looking for. That's what you want. The PDW 6mm round hits the center of the target and penetrates deep into the gelatin. But what's unique about this specifically designed 6mm round? Coming up, we learn the secret behind the PDW's incredible capability. And I'll show you just how versatile this weapon system is in an executive protection situation. Knight's Armament's personal defense weapon is a small, lightweight, state-of-the-art gun designed to stop the enemy at close quarters. Firing the PDW at ballistics gelatin, I've shown just how deadly this round is, even penetrating body armor. But why is this bullet so effective?
We've optimized the performance of the cartridge case, we've optimized the performance of the bullet, and we've optimized the performance of the gun itself.
The PDW is a cutting-edge weapon with a new, specifically designed 6x35mm round. But was it really necessary to develop a whole new bullet?
If we had a 12-inch barrel or a 14-inch barrel, we could have stayed with the 5.56 and gotten the same performance. But because we wanted to shorten the barrel up to 10-inch and up to 8-inch, we needed to go a little bit bigger in the bullet diameter. We ended up with a 65-grain bullet.
So when you're talking about grains of bullets, you're really talking about the weight of the actual bullet as it's traveling.
That's correct. And the 65 grain is just about the optimum for what we want to penetrate glass, penetrate body armor, penetrate all those things.
Another great feature about this round, there's very little recoil, a huge operational advantage. Even firing on full auto, you can see I have no problem keeping a great firing position. Perfect for maintaining target acquisition. With the PDW, you get the best of both worlds, an assault rifle performance with a submachine gun ergonomics. SWAT Commander Todd Holland has plenty of operational experience.
From an operator's perspective, tell me what you love about this weapon.
It's short, it's light. I know for a fact that it's a rifle caliber weapon in a submachine gun size package. And I also know for a fact that the cartridge is designed to burn completely in the barrel length that it has. I'm not going to have a huge fireball at the end of my weapon. I'm not going to have deafening concussion of unburnt powder. And I still have the knockdown power and the rifle power that I would have with an M16. This is state of the art. This is as good as it gets.
So what exactly does the PDW design bring to the fight? Take the situation. I've got to get my protectee to the vehicle. I've got plenty of cover here, but then so does the enemy. There could be gunmen hiding around any corner. Why is the PDW such a valuable asset? 1. It's concealable. There is nothing like surprising the enemy with a weapon they can't see. 2. It's compact. The PDW is no wider than my shoulders. There are tight turns, confined places, but I can still readjust my firing position easily and effectively. Three, it's accurate. If I have to take a double tap, I know I can put one round on top of the other. Four, it penetrates. I have an assault rifle in a submachine gun package. If you're wearing basic body armor, you're going down. And five, it's flexible. With the folding buttstock, you can get in and out of all kinds of tight situations easy. VIP secure, let's roll. Next, time for a big gun. The mighty Bushmaster cannon. In this lush green landscape, looks can be deceptive. You're never too far from an aggressive creature.
I'm in the beautiful state of Minnesota, home to some ferocious residents. The Vikings, the Timberwolves, the Bushmaster. Now, what does future weapons have in common with a deadly venomous snake? Not much. The Bushmaster I'm talking about, well, it doesn't use poison to take out its target. But it has one hell of a bite.
The brains behind that bite is ATK Alliant Tech Systems. They've created a compact lethal cannon that's so precise, so powerful, it can engage a target from over 2 miles away.
The Bushmaster, known by the military nomenclature the Mark 44, is an extremely flexible and reliable system that's used by the Air Force AC-130 gunship called the Spooky, the USS San Antonio in the Navy, and the Marine Corps' Expeditionary Fighting Vehicle. The good people at ATK are finding a way to bring this weapon system deeper into the 21st century.
One of the men behind this cutting-edge cannon is designer Mark Tomes.
Some of the good things about the Bushmaster are really the simplicity of the design. What sets this cannon apart from many of the other cannons is that it's a chain gun. That means there's very few moving parts in there, which makes it a very high reliable cannon.
That's what you're looking for, really, is this, on a weapon system, you want it to be highly reliable, you want it to be very precise, and you want it to be able to do all kinds of different jobs.
Exactly. When you're in the heat of battle, what you want then is reliability.
But the value of this weapon isn't just its reliability. Bushmaster has built-in flexibility thanks to its dual feed system. This allows you to change rounds at the flick of a switch.
The reason that you want to have dual feed is because typically in a battle scenario, you don't know what kind of targets you're going to come up against. The two types of ammunition that most users put on their systems would be an armor-piercing round and a high-explosive round. And with the dual feed, what you're able to do is, from the fire control system, is switch between which type of round you want to do.
The Bushmaster cannon is already a huge success with over 11,000 units in service today. Most of them fire the 25mm round, but this version goes 5mm better. The 30mm packs more punch and is the only round, check this out, with airburst capability. The airburst munition is designed to explode at a precise point in space and time. That means you don't have to rely on hitting the target for the round to do its job. Time to see the Bushmaster and its new airburst munition in action. Target 1 is a regular brick wall, a typical urban target. The round can be set to explode inside the room, but to show you just how precise the fuse mechanism is, we're going to set it to detonate in the wall itself. It should look like it's exploding on impact, but remember, the fire control system tells the round the precise distance to the wall.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, fire.
All right. That was a good shot. That was a good shot.
The round detonates inside the wall. Although the round is hugely powerful, it takes out the enemy without taking down the building. This capability means you can destroy the threat while reducing collateral damage. If your operation depends on keeping the local population on your side, that matters. But how will this round deal with hard targets? In this scenario, we have a double reinforced 8-inch thick steel and concrete bunker, and inside we have terrorists. When intelligence identifies a threat, you have to be able to take it out quickly. A reinforced enemy position is simulated here. It's a prime target for the Bushmaster. We're going to fire a single airburst round from a distance of 550 yards. Unfortunately, that's the maximum range of this facility, but the Bushmaster could easily shoot 6 times further. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Take him out. Definitely went right through the side, that corner right there, and boom, right inside that room. Looks like a nightmare for those guys inside. The concussive forces from this hit would be so great that even if the round didn't kill the enemy, the massive shockwave and overpressure would.
Here we hit the target a little low, but as you can see, we penetrated through all 8 inches of the concrete.
Easily.
Very easily. Split out the rebar that's in there, and we've got penetration all the way through the target into the room behind, and we've struck the targets inside. And also what you would do on a hardened target like this, this was just the first shot.
Right.
You would normally put off, maybe 2 more shots.
Exactly.
Right into the wall. And I think we got the intended impact.
Just 1 round off. But right now, this one comes in here, boom, and as you can see, Greeny Meanie 1 over here is, he's not exactly going to harm another civilian. And Greeny Meanie number 2 here, well, he's in the same position. He's over. And it's almost like, I hate to sound callous or cold about it, but these guys got exactly what they deserved.
This technology means you have ultimate control over when and where the round is unleashed. All of this devastation from just 1 airburst round delivered by the Mark 44 Bushmaster. But this weapon can fire an astonishing 200 rounds a minute. Next, what will happen when you fire multiple rounds at a target like this? Then we unleash the full power of the Bushmaster and the 30mm airburst round. We've seen that thick brick walls and reinforced concrete are no challenge for a single airburst round fired from the Mark 44 Bushmaster. 1 round, no contest. But the Bushmaster can fire 200 rounds in a minute. If you think that taking pot shots from the safety of a covered position against the Mark 44 is a good idea, then you're not too bright. Let's throw some firepower downrange. We give the target a 5-round burst. No doubt about it, we got your attention. Now, a 10-round burst. And in a combat situation, imagine this mayhem raining down over 2 miles away.
We've just witnessed the devastating firepower of the Mark 44.
Oh, man. Talking about a nightmare for the guys on the inside of here. Look at that. Just chewing up all through here. There must have been at least 5, 10 rounds that went just straight through that right there.
Exactly.
Bushmaster has wreaked havoc and demonstrated the impressive capability of the airburst round. So how does it work? Dwayne Bjorlin reveals the secret behind this cutting-edge technology.
The key way that the fuse functions that we're able to do is it actually counts revolutions of the round as it's going down range. You have the rifled barrel in the cannon, which imparts spin on the projectile. And what we've done is we have a sensor in the fuse that actually is able to sense the Earth's magnetic field and the lines of flux in the Earth's magnetic field. So as it goes down range, it breaks those lines of flux. So when we tell it in the fuse we want to go off at 500 meters, What we're actually saying is go off at X number of turns that equates to 500 meters.
Right.
The round uses the Earth's magnetic field to determine when it's traveled the distance to the target. Before it's fired, the round has to know exactly how far away the target is.
Now, when that round is headed down that barrel and out of that barrel, you're not in charge of that round anymore. All that calculation is done in advance by the fire control system.
That's correct. The way it would operate in a system such as the Expeditionary Fighting Vehicle of the Marine Corps is the gunner will sit there. The first thing he does is he'll laze to the target. We'll establish a range. That comes back to the fire control, and we'll convert that range to a number of turns.
How fast is a single rotation?
That I don't know.
Really fast.
Really fast, right.
What we have here is a team of bad guys. They've screeched to a halt, the driver's still in the van, and 3 guys have piled out with RPGs and a small rifle. They're taking pot shots at a Marine Expeditionary Fighting Vehicle loaded with the Mark 44. It has a 30mm cannon with the air burst munition. They're in for a rude awakening. Three, 2, 1. Take them out.
The first round detonates right on target, peppering it with shrapnel. Then it's followed by 4 more hell-raising rounds, each one triggered over the van.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't want to be the guy who thinks he can take on a Marine Expeditionary Fighting Vehicle carrying the Mark 44 30mm airburst round. What do you think, Dwayne?
Looks good. You can see the frag patterns. We had an airburst right in front of the vehicle.
Right. These guys are peppered. The whole side of the vehicle is taken out. All the way back here, you can see definitely what's going on right there. Glass is shredded all over the place, sliced all the way through the van. These guys are no longer doing that job, and that's exactly what you want.
Next, check out this amazing assault rifle system. It's so versatile, you have to see it to believe it. I'm making my way across the baking heat of the Arizona desert to see one of the most exciting developments in assault rifles in decades. I've heard there's a company called Magpul that's developed a weapon so versatile it can tackle just about any mission you can throw at it.
Today, I've been granted an exclusive opportunity to see an assault rifle that could be a replacement for the M4. And what better location to test it out than an exclusive place like the Scottsdale Gun Club. And when I say exclusive,
identification is completed.
I mean exclusive.
It's here that I've been given unique access to the Magpul Masada.
The Magpul Masada over the standard M4 truly is a modular weapon system.
Former federal counterterrorism instructor Chris Costa brought his operational experience to the Masada's development.
They could do a wish list and say, these are the things that I would do to the weapon system to improve it. You would probably end up with this gun. It's simple. It's caveman, is really what this is. It's caveman simple, it's light, it's fast.
For 40 years now, the M16 and its shorter barrel cousin, the M4, have been the weapons of choice for the U.S. military forces. The basic M16 is a great weapon, but it has some design limitations.
The charging handle is in the rear of the gun, which stops the use of elevation for like a cheek piece for standard optics.
Richard Fitzpatrick is the president and founder of Magpul Industries.
It's also non-ambidextrous on the selector lever and also the bolt release. So to release the bolt back, you have to do like a three-handed affair. You have a release for the magazine here, but it's also if you do weak side transition, there's no release for the magazine release on this side. What we like about it is it's very light and flickable. You can actually, when you position it, you can. It feels very comfortable to shoot and point at the target. Essentially, everything we liked about the M16, we tried to keep.
Magpul started with the basic M16 design, re-engineered areas like the rear charging handle, removing the rear buffer tube, and updating the lower receiver for the 21st century. As the project continued, more and more parts were redesigned until all that was left of the M16 was the barrel, fire control mechanism, and the front sight post. Starting with these, Magpul designed a completely new rifle with a modern, robust frame that ended up being a half a pound lighter than the M16. The redesign allowed them to introduce new enhancements like a folding stock, adjustable cheek well, and a full-length rail system for mounting optics. Then, they added ambidextrous controls along with a free-floating barrel to increase accuracy.
We try to make it so that if you're a novice, you can pick it up and you automatically know how the weapon is supposed to be used just by looking at it and feeling it.
And they were completely right. The first time I picked up this weapon, it felt very familiar.
It's a great weapon. It feels very comfortable. It feels like the kind of firing an M4, but it doesn't have any of the charging handle getting in the way. I'll tell you, the fact that I can go, if I was a left-handed, that it would feel exactly the same as if I were a right-handed, that's definitely a benefit. So this weapon is good to go. It's ready to go into a room, and it fires the 5.56, which is a standard round for an infantry assault rifle. It feels really comfortable. It locks in tight. It's grouped into the shoulder, no problem. Picking up the sights, no problem. Flicking it, easy. Boom. Just like that, I'm able to put rounds downrange very accurately.
But the Masada's biggest selling point is its modular design. If I'm tasked with a mission where I need long-range shooting, I can quickly fit an 18-inch barrel so I can take that shot. If I receive another mission that requires something a little smaller or maybe a little craftier, with this weapon, that's no problem.
It just provides a user a lot of flexibility, and everything's been very well thought out since it was built from the ground up. If you drop this weapon system overseas right now and gave it to our troops and they pulled it out of a crate, it's pretty self-explanatory. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to start utilizing this weapon system.
The Masada has one cool trick up its sleeve that no other weapon of its kind can match.
You want to build a AK or?
Well, let's build the AK. What the heck?
Mike Mayberry leads the design team that built the Masada.
So I can select my stock. We'll build a short-barreled gun, I guess, so we can go with the folding stock. Then this gets mated to the receiver.
And we want to keep this as simple as possible, especially if you've got to clean it in the field.
Right. So there's my base gun. Now I select my barrel. Which one would you like?
Let's go with a little bit... with the middle.
14 and a half inch, okay. So my barrel's in. I've got a short grip here. There's your gun.
Just like that.
Yep.
Just like that, the Masada can impersonate the legendary AK-47 and fire its round.
So one of the things you're saying is I actually have the capability of turning this weapon into a weapon that fires 7.62 by 39.
Exactly.
So it can fire the AK round.
Yes.
Why would you need a weapon that can transform itself from a standard NATO round to, well, a round that isn't a NATO round? Well, I'm going to tell you, there might be some people out there that would like to have the comfort of a weapon they're really familiar with, but without a NATO round.
Take, for instance, a special operations unit carrying out a covert mission behind enemy lines. Chris and I need to move across terrain without leaving evidence that we've been there. With the Masada configured to fire the same rounds as the AK-47, we can use our enemy's rounds. It's a clever way to leave a very light footprint. When you're undercover with the Masada, you can virtually disappear into the landscape. Coming up, I'm in the skies firing off an amazing 3,000 rounds a minute. How? With the latest Gatling gun.
Aggressiveness, intimidation, and domination all in one little package.
What's the first image that comes to mind when you think of helicopter gunships? Apocalypse Now, Francis Ford Coppola's classic film about the Vietnam War. The mighty guns that rained down bullets from the skies over Vietnam struck fear into the enemy below. But 60s technology and manufacturing materials created performance limitations for these weapons. In Vietnam, when you're talking about medium caliber machine guns, there are two favorites: the multi-barreled Gatling gun and the single-barreled belt-fed assault weapon. Today, the latest version of the belt-fed variety is the M240. It's reliable and lays down impressive firepower. But now the designers from Dillon Aero have taken another favorite weapon from Vietnam, the Gatling gun, and retooled it for the 21st century. This is the Dillon M134 Gatling gun. Using the latest materials and technology, it's designed to be lightweight, rapid firing, and ultra reliable. Here at Scottsdale, Arizona, I'm going to put this firepower to the test.
The Gatling gun started life specifically as an aerial weapon. So it was used in helicopters and in aircraft.
Chris Dillon is vice president of Dillon Aero.
What makes the Gatling gun superior to the M240 and other single-barrel weapons is its ability to fire very fast. The M240 shoots at a rate of 750 rounds a minute, whereas the Gatling gun shoots at 3,000 rounds a minute, about 4 times that.
The secret of the Gatling gun's rapid rate of fire is the fact that it uses 6 barrels instead of just 1. Using new materials, the designers have been able to increase the reliability of the weapon, making it fire fast without it breaking down. Dillon's gun fires around 4 times the rate of the M240. So, this should make it around 4 times more accurate, right? Wrong. It's so much better than that.
Based on those numbers, the Gatling gun should have a 4-to-1 hit ratio above the M240. In reality, it's about 9-to-1. And the reason for that discrepancy is that you gain certain advantages in accuracy and weapon performance when you get above a certain rate of fire, about 2,000 rounds a minute.
In their own comparison, firing a 10-second burst at the target, the M240 fires 130 rounds and scores 10 hits, while the Dillon Gatling gun scores over 110 hits. At a 7,000-acre range just outside of Scottsdale, it's my turn to find out if the Dillon M134 performs as advertised.
The M134 fires 3,000 rounds in 1 minute. That's 50 rounds in 1 second. Aggressiveness, intimidation, and domination all in one little package.
It's easy to use. Created from low-density titanium alloy, the Dillon team has crafted a gun that's 20% lighter than similar weapons. With this specifically designed mount, I can aim it easily at any angle. The action of the rotary gun is smooth, and there's none of the jerking action or barrel rise you would get from the recoil of a belt-fed gun.
Nothing yells suppressing fire better than the roar of the M134.
There's no denying that firing off thousands of rounds a minute into the desert is a whole lot of fun. But in combat, this rate of fire brings serious advantages. Eli is a U.S. Special Forces weapons sergeant.
So, I take it you fired the 50 caliber machine gun before?
Right, I have.
And firing the M134 is different?
It's a completely different system. 3,000 rounds per minute is an amazing volume of fire that is unmatched with any other weapon system we have in our inventory.
What are the biggest advantages you get firing the M134 versus, say, the 50 cal?
Well, I would say it's twofold, really. Of course, the volume of fire, like I mentioned earlier, 3,000 rounds per minute is unbelievable as far as being able to engage a target and even moving to a target and effectively hitting it quickly and accurately without collateral damage. And the other aspect, which is, I think, just as equally important, is the psychological advantage that you have with the minigun over any other system we have.
Just the sound is incredibly intimidating, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. It changes the whole battlefield environment as soon as it engages.
Because it's so lightweight, the Dillon Gatling gun can be mounted on a variety of platforms, on the ground, at sea, as well as in the air. The choice of rounds is also extensive.
The Dillon Gatling gun can fire all types of standard NATO 7.62mm ammunition. That includes ball, tracer, slap, armor-piercing, or even incendiary.
Sundown in the Arizona desert provides the perfect backdrop to show off the awesome power of the M134. In the dunes below, we've placed target vehicles for me to terminate. Terminate with extreme prejudice. Firing at night, you can clearly see just how accurate and dominating this weapon is. It's obvious why it can instantly change a battlefield environment.
Weapon is on.
There's something about firing this Gatling gun that feels disturbingly beautiful. Let's just say I'm glad I'm the guy behind the M134 and not the one in front of it.